Good morning, Monday the 20th of May, and here we are to look at the astrology for today. I do daily astrology videos from Monday to Friday. Okay, let's go straight to the share today and pick out today's chart. There we go. Right. Okay, there we go. Right. What have we got? Okay, so the sun is just about to come out of Taurus. So if you look here, it's gone past all of these planets over the days that we've been watching these videos and is now at 29:44 of Taurus. So when you watch tomorrow, that sun will be in Gemini. And we've got something else here that I want to talk about. This is something that it's bubbling in the background. I know it's not bubbling. It's like when you put a pan on the stove and you're cooking something. So if you bring it to the front, it's bubbling away. You can see the steam, or you can push it to the back and turn it down, and it'll simmer in the background. This issue that I want to talk about is simmering in the background. So it'll come through occasionally, and then it'll kind of go away again. It's a feature of the last 2 weeks, maybe, and perhaps a feature of the next week, but it keeps reoccurring. And every time I open the chart, there is a reason to look at it again. So I want to cover this again and in depth, if I may, please. Right. So we have Chiron. Now, we've talked about this last week, I think it was, about Chiron's wounds. The wounds that make us wise, as Melanie Reinhardt says. And Chiron is sitting there at 21 degrees of Aries. And I mentioned that it was square or 90 degrees from Ceres, a goddess which describes parent-child relationships, the parent-child bond, and also is an aspect of Mother Nature, the feminine, the great Earth goddess. And so she has responsibility for growing any seed at all. So it can be a human seed, and it could be in agriculture, a seed of corn. And she takes those seeds and she oversees their path through into maturity, death, and then rebirth in a cycle. She is responsible for cycles and has a special attachment to the parent and the child in as much as the bonds that shape the child. And she looks after the maternal lineage, where you get going back several generations, you get this link from daughter to mother to grandmother, etc. And you can see all the karma and the skeletons in the cupboard and the family history all coming through this lineage. She is very much responsible for that. Okay, now the moon got there this morning, 21 degrees of Libra. And so we're very much featured on the cardinal cross. We're back to crosses. Remember, I'm talking about these as regularly as they pop up. So cardinal cross, we know that we've got Aries opposite Libra, and we've got Capricorn opposite Cancer, and those two form a cross. And you have to remember these. Remember, I was talking to you about, you must remember the zodiac signs and the crosses that they form, because you'll need it every time you want to read a chart. Okay, this is what we call a tight T-square. Now, it's why it's called a T-square, I don't know, because it actually makes a formation of a triangle. So we've got three sides to the triangle. We've got Chiron in Aries, and then Ceres in Capricorn, and the moon in Libra. And that is called a tight T-square. It's certainly tight. It's all exact. If we pick up anything over here, if we did get something in Cancer, and we have, and it's Vesta, an asteroid, if Vesta was at 21, we would have a grand cross, a tight grand cross, because it's then called a grand cross when it's a square shape, but there is essentially a cross between all of the planets. Now I'm going to leave Vesta out for a minute because she's a very quiet asteroid, and I don't think she's going to be particularly involved in this. I'll start the reading and see if she comes in. That sounds a weird thing to say, doesn't it? I don't know what I'm going to say until I start reading it. I just sort of begin to describe what I see in the glyphs, and I'm listening as avidly as you are. I just read this stuff. I wish I'd invented it. Anyway, here we go. So, Chiron in Aries. The first thing I want to say about that is this talks about a deep embarrassment and humiliation, which are keywords of Chiron's, to do with not being strong enough, not being of leadership quality, not being able to take the lead in something, feeling that you're failing the battle, that if you took the war on, you wouldn't win it anyway. So it's Chiron in Aries says we are wounded with regard to being Aries. We can't be Aries. We can't be that great warrior leader for whatever reason. Okay, now that's described one bit. Now I'm going to add to it, and I'm going to go to Ceres. Okay, and so Ceres over here in Capricorn is talking about the parent-child bond. So now that we know something, we know that this parent-child relationship, which, let's face it, dominates all of us for most of our life here on Earth, it is such a strong one. This parent-child bond is currently being challenged because one or the other, either the child or the parent, feels that they can't gain strength, that they can't control the other. So this could be that the parents feel that they can't control their children. It could be that the children feel that they have got to control their parents for some reason. Now, this can be because the parents are extremely elderly. I've got a 90-year-old mother, for instance, and I do find that I'm having to take charge because she has dementia. And so it's the roles are completely reversed when that happens. There's a responsibility on me to make sure that she stays safe. And this can be a little bit challenging. Okay, let's bring in the moon at this point. So we now have the moon in Libra. The moon describes the feminine, the yin. It describes the introvert part of ourselves. It describes the reflective side of us, a side that can contain fear. So, okay, now let's put these two together. So we've got Chiron in Aries opposite the moon in Libra. Okay, I'm just going to stop sharing a minute so that you can see me more clearly. So Chiron in Aries, as I've already said, describes our fears about being not strong enough, our humiliation. And that moon opposite in Libra is now talking about relating and relationship, and how we can feel as if we're not strong enough in the relationship. It's also describing, because this is an axis, the Aries-Libra axis is to do with battling. It's to do with relating, but relating actually contains the battlefield and arguing and rowing and having legal arguments over such things as paternity rights, etc. That axis is an axis of battling and combat and trying to harmonize and get along with each other, but trying also to have independence, to maintain a sense of personal strength. It's a very difficult axis and a very important one. Because the moon is there, briefly, it's highlighting the wounds in a relating situation, a relationship, where we perhaps always have been the underdog or have always been the wounded one because of the relationship with the parents, where we always were dominated by parents, never got a personal sense of strength, never got a personal sense of courage, and then go into relating and relationships and finding that we are replicating that same relationship, the one we had with the parent, where we were under their control, where we didn't feel we had personal strength. Okay, now, and this can move so many ways, right? It can be parents who feel wounded and upset that their parents won't behave and accept their direction and their control, and children that won't do what they're told. It can be over older children, say in your 20s and 30s, feeling that it's about time parents stayed out of their relationship circumstances, their choice of partner, and how they raise their kids. Because astrology quite often gives us glyphs that allow for a lot of different scenarios, because we are all in different scenarios. And what I'm trying to do is show you the full range of scenarios so that you can look at your own experience at the moment and figure out just where this features for you. And why would you want to do that? You'd want to do it because when you put these things on the table in front of you, when you bring them to center stage, as painful as they might be, this is an opportunity for personal growth. This is what we're here to do. We are here to improve, to be honed, to get wise, to understand why things sometimes feel so horribly difficult, and the reason behind that, which is always that we should struggle, because struggle produces wisdom. It produces a better, more informed person who then makes better choices. And as we sort of get better at handling things and feel less wounded and become more patient, prosaic, better able to manage relating, getting the skills of relationship, then we are raising that awareness for the whole collective unconscious, because all of us have a feedback which links into the collective unconscious. So when you raise your consciousness and you learn things, you are feeding it into the great unconscious lake, if you like, where everything is stored, and it's raising the awareness for that, and everybody's link becomes a little stronger as a result. Okay, so that was cosmic insights. Okay, so we are potentially looking at today thoughts of our parents or our children, the challenges or difficulties, thinking possibly about where somebody feels that they are not able to get personal strength because of the proximity of the parent or child, which is too close. Now, here's your opportunity to think, is it time that we created some space between us to allow us both personal growth? Is it time to stop clutching on to each other because of fear, because we don't want to be alone or lonely? Is it time to see that this is choking personal growth? And honestly, there could be a better relationship if there were more space in it. That suddenly you find out that you really do love each other, and it's great to go shopping or have a barbecue, but only if you're not living in each other's pockets. It's those kind of things that we could well best be focused on today. That would be a good idea. Um, I'm not sure how long this thing is around. I'll do some more research on it actually for tomorrow. I can see that we've got Vesta coming up, and I would say that because Vesta gives us the great skill of self-examination, self-reflection, to consider the inner child, but also to consider our inner focus. I suspect that, this is what the sky is all about at the moment, what it is trying to show us. I'm just going to share with you one more time this page. Okay. And anyway, so there we go. Look at it and have a think. You might want to take a photograph of this. If you are learning astrology, you can always take a print screen of these things and just store them somewhere or look at them during the day and reflect on how it feels for you when you look at the glyphs and their relationship to each other. Develop your own astrology. Don't just listen to me. I could be very wrong, couldn't I? The first time. Okay, so I hope all that was good for you, and I hope it's useful. I mean, please put a comment in the comments if something does resonate. I really would like to see people's support on this and get some more shares and things going, because I really would like to get more people on board with this daily astrology. Maybe I'm wrong and people don't want it. Maybe it's just an unwanted thing because we haven't got time to listen to it every day. I would really like to know. So if you could give me some support and the numbers start climbing, then I'll think, oh, okay, yeah, it's wanted after all. Okay, well, it was absolutely fabulous to talk to you. And I hope that was useful. I'd like to think it was anyway. And it's only Monday, so we've got 4 more this week. These are daily from Monday to Friday. I can't work weekends because of my family responsibilities. But anyway, have a lovely day. Nice to speak, and I'll see you in the morning. Okay, thanks. Bye. Bye.